GPS is Gigi's personal services. She's an RV expert with over 3 decades of experience. Visit thervadvisor.com today.
Little birdie told me I need RV advice.
Get information straight from the horse's mouth.
Little birdie told me I need RV advice.
It's Just Ask Gigi with Gigi Stetler and Tom Alexander. Now here's Gigi and Tom.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Just Ask Gigi. My name is Tom Alexander, and as always, I'm joined by the one, the only. There she is.
Hi. Don't mess it up.
Gigi Stetler. I got it.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm grand. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. And lots going on here at the RV Advisor.
Yes.
It just never stops, and that's
a good thing.
It is a good thing, and I know that we've got a few cases that, it's funny. You always seem to get an influx of information, an influx of mail, questions, all kinds of things that roll over the transom every day on a regular basis. And I know that happened over the past 24 hours, right?
Yeah, normally it's kind of spread out. I'll get I'll get a few a week or something like that, but it was just a strange day yesterday. Mm-hmm. 3 major complaints came in against Camping World, like one right after another. I turned on my computer around 9:30 in the morning yesterday, and there were 3 emails, but they didn't come to me, which was so strange. They went to our PR firm,
sure.
and who basically sends out our press releases. So they actually wrote to the PR firm, and this long, horrible story, and there were just 3 in a row. So my PR firm sent it back to me to reach out to them, because they really sounded like they needed help. And
right.
And I mean, they're just, heart-wrenching. So anyway, we put those 3 cases in front of me. So I'm working with them right now. But it was just kind of crazy that all 3, and within I guess they came in overnight on Monday night, I guess, and I got them on Tuesday morning. They forwarded them to me. So anyway, it never seems to end with their crazy tactics. So I thought today would be, I had them send me over copies of their contracts and stuff, and some of them bought towards the end of last year, December, November. But kind of the same story. I really truly believe that they know that they're selling defective products and they don't care, and they sell them anyway. But I thought that we would get into some of the language on their contracts, because we get calls every day of people that find amazing deals on Camping World's website, and they want to go there and buy. And I can't tell you not to buy something somewhere. I can't do that. All I can do is advise you on what to look for, what not to. What to look for. And, I can't help, people can't help themselves sometimes when they just, find them, or they think they've got the best deal in the world and they can't pass it up. And, there's a saying of when, you think things are too good to be true, sometimes they are.
Yeah, well, usually they are, right?
Yeah.
Almost always, yeah.
Except in our case.
Yeah.
In our case, so.
That's true. That is true. We are the exception, one of the few exceptions to the rule, right?
Yes.
Well, yeah. So share with us one of these tales of woe, if you will.
Sure. Oh, well, I have to get on my spectacles.
Yeah.
So
welcome to age 50 and up, I guess. I don't know what the heck happened.
So this lovely couple, they purchased They purchased a 2020 Fuson. It was a 5th wheel toy hauler, I believe. And I'm not even going to get into the numbers, whether they got a fair deal or not. It really isn't about that. But the language in the buyer's order pretty much gives them full authority to do whatever they want, and they don't have to honor anything. So I just thought, we can go through a couple of paragraphs here. So if you really think you're getting the deal of the century and you when you get to this contract, nobody, I mean, this, as an example, this is their buyer's order. So most likely you're not going to read every page because the signature is on the last page. So pretty much what they do is they just kind of bring you right to that page.
Yeah.
So you don't pay attention to this and this and this, and this and all this other stuff. And, it's unfortunate, but that's what I'm here for. So, but all of their contracts seem to be pretty standard or boilerplate within their company. So it doesn't matter what state you buy in.
Yeah.
So we'll just talk about a few definitions and a few things that are in the contract that are troublesome. The one thing that they're very, very cautious in identifying the parties of the contract, the definitions, okay, of who's a party to this contract. And in bold letters, they basically say, we are not an agent for the manufacturer. So, and they go on to say that we're selling you this RV, and I will find the as is language, but we're selling you this RV as is. So basically what they're telling you is you're buying this as is from us. So in whatever condition it's in right now, and we're not the manufacturer. So if you have a problem with it, manufacturer section, or you need to go look at the manufacturer section and go fight with them.
That's right.
But you don't know that. You're buying it from a dealer. You're buying it new. You're thinking that the dealer is representing the manufacturer. And in reality, what this contract says is basically it's telling you that they're not the manufacturer and they're not responsible, and you're buying it as is. But what they're not telling you is that the dealers and the manufacturers have a contract within, okay? So we have a responsibility to the consumer for warranty work, but the consumer is not privileged to the language of that agreement. So it's extremely confusing. So they can basically take this contract and you can sue them, and under the terms of this contract for breach of warranty or something like that, and they could shake this off to the judge and say, look, Your Honor, right here, we sold it to them as is. Whatever relationship or whatever's wrong with it, it's between them and the manufacturer.
Yeah.
So there lies the consumer
Right.
in the middle of, or basically not really knowing that. And, it just kind of, on a legality point, it kind of puts them, in arm's way with the judge of, based on the four corners of the contract. But, knowing what I know that the manufacturers and dealers have a particular agreement that the dealer must abide by the warranty rules, their rules, and their warranty guides. So they are responsible, but not according to their contract. But there's so many things, especially when they're ordering a unit. And so this on their, I guess, this is page 1, I guess, of their buyer's order.
Yeah.
The dealer makes no guarantees or warranty express or implied. This vehicle is sold as is with no dealer guarantees, warranty implied or express. Dealer does not affirm or adopt to the manufacturer's warranties that are available to this unit of any of its components or any of its components. Dealer hereby disclaims and excludes from the sale or all warranties express or implied, including the implied warranty and merchantability and the implied warranty or fitness. Buyer acknowledges that this disclaimer is made in capitalized, bold, and underlined font and is conspicuous. So, and you just scribble your name there and you sign it. Okay. So, I mean, to me, you would be, if you're thinking you're buying something new,
Right.
which is checked off over here, new, and when you're looking at an RV on display, 99% of them, when they're on display, they have big signs all over them, stickers on them, 2-year warranty, 3-year warranty, 5-year warranty, lifetime on the axles, this. So it tells you all of that on the vehicle.
Yeah.
So you're buying it because you see that visual of these signs and stickers all over the RV saying about all the warranties. And then you're reading this and it's telling you as is. But guess what? They don't read that. Nobody reads that. They just sign. So the next paragraph, which was even more disturbing, buyer understands that the dealer does not warrant the year of this unit, the year of the chassis, or the year of any of its component parts, and that the manufacturer of the unit, the chassis, or the components is solely the responsibility for the year assigned to this unit to the extent the year it is referenced in this agreement. If the buyer is purchasing a new unit as indicated above, buyer acknowledges that new means only that the unit has not been previously titled, although the unit may have been used as a demo or at a show. New does not create any warranty or expectations of the value of performance. Buyer understands and agrees that if a buyer or a dealer should breach this contract, or if the buyer institutes any claim arising out of the contract of the purchase of this unit, the statute of limitations of any such claim is limited to 1 year from the date of the sale. So,
right.
And most of these, these new factory warranties have a 2 and 3 year warranty on them. But if you have any dispute, which the interesting thing is that they don't have to guarantee the year of the unit. So they can put a sign on it and tell you that it's a 2021 and you buy it and you sign it. And then you get a title in the mail 6 or 8 weeks later and it's a 2019. Oops. Oops.
That's a big oops. Yeah, that's a big oops. So and about the fact that it could have been, the definition of new only means that it's not titled. Right.
Well, we have a couple of cases. Actually, we have a 4 or 5 cases that I'm working right now that I've settled. Actually, 4 of them, and they sold these vehicles as new.
Yeah.
And we found out that they were previously delivered to a previous buyer, and most likely this previous buyer brought it back because it had a laundry list of repairs, and they traded it back in, or they switched them out of it or whatever, and then they just sell it off to another unsuspecting buyer, which is basically what happens all the time. So they put this language in there because we've actually prevailed on a couple of cases where they had to buy them back from a customer that we found out that was previously delivered. So this language, I think, is pretty new, since they did have to repurchase some of those that we had found previously.
Right.
So, and as a matter of fact, I had, one case that I had been working on for over a year.
Yeah.
And she purchased a 2020 and got a title to a 2019. And we never gave up, and we actually, we kept fighting with them, and we finally got the bank to reach out to them and got the loan repurchased. And she drove, I can't mention her name because we have a confidentiality, but she returned her RV and got a check for $21,500. And yep, and she's out of that mess. But that took a lot of fighting. So most of that can be prevented by reading the contract. So it goes on, and there's just more and more and more and
well,
more.
there it is. I mean, read the contracts, and if you're uncertain about what it means, that's why the RV advisor's here.
Yes, and
that is why we're here. And
that's why we're here. And I wouldn't expect you to know what half this language means, and I know exactly what I'm looking for. So before you sign a contract, hire me, GPS. It's the best $350 you'll ever spend. I will look at the contract and review it, and I will tell you, you can't sign it with this, and this language in it. And if the dealer doesn't agree to remove that language or change that language, then you have to be prepared to walk away. You have to be, because, it's harder for me to fix a problem after the fact than, and we've been getting really lucky. The last 4 or 5 GPS customers that I've had in the last several weeks, they're all in the buying stages, and they've all hired me before they sign a contract. And it's been amazing. So
that's the smart move. There you go. Literally the money move. So, well, thanks, Gigi. That's really great and very, very insightful, very helpful. We do have a couple questions for you, and we'll do that on the other side of the break. So we've got, these are a little different. So we'll see what advice you might be able to offer.
Awesome.
And plus, we've got some more information for you on our social site. So that's all coming up right after the break. This is Just Ask Gigi. She's Gigi Stetler. I'm Tom Alexander. Back in just a moment.
The RVACA is a charitable organization protecting the rights of the RV owners. We'll work with dealers and manufacturers to ensure quality control is in place prior to delivery of an RV. Additionally, the RVACA provides assistance to disaster relief victims. Visit rvaca.org.
We are back on Just Ask Gigi. She's Gigi Stetler. I am Tom Alexander, and it's time for questions with Gigi right now. And we just ask Gigi, and we get the questions answered. These are interesting. We got one from Mark, and he asks, if my RV is also my office, do you know of any write-offs for taxes? That's interesting. I don't think we've ever had that come up, but I don't know if it goes state by state or whatever, if there's a general rule of thumb, but I assume that you can... You've got some leeway there.
Without giving you legal tax advice, I don't want you to take that to the IRS, but there are some benefits. And you might want to think there's a couple of ways to go. Well, number one, if you are paying a mortgage on your primary residence and you have a loan on the RV, your interest is tax deductible as a second home. So you've already got that as a guarantee if you have a mortgage. If you don't have a mortgage and you're working out of the RV, what I would do is either set up some type of a little company and charge yourself rent or charge the company rent, and then to offset the payment. You can deduct rent. I do know that you can deduct rent just the same as if you had an office in your house. But there are a million rules that you have to follow. It goes by like the square footage and the amount of time and all these things. So you really got to look at you got to look at the rules, all the rules, to see what applies. But you might find a better, better deductions in just billing the portion of your company, just rent.
Yeah.
And then deducting the rent expense.
Yeah. All right. Excellent. Thanks for thank you for the question, Mark. And then we have a question from Laura. She wants to know about if you can recommend any good cookbooks. I guess she's a new RVer and she's just getting the first time out, and she wants to do some cooking for herself or family.
Awesome.
And do you know of any good cookbooks? And I have a little addendum that I would add to that when
I was going to
answer.
You take it away, Tom. That's a question. That's a Just Ask Tom question. Because
okay. Well, then I can tell you that we just had the RV mama on. She is Jennifer Miller, and she was just on the podcast, I think last week. And she's been on with us before. And she's actually writing the third in a series of RV Mama books. And this one is going to be a cookbook. So that's really cool. So it's not out right now, but it's coming very soon, and we can tell you that. So there you go, Laura. If you
I would say.
but there's great recipes online too. You can find them. In fact, on our newsletter, we've had some.
Oh yeah, we usually do a recipe on our newsletter. My new favorite thing I talked about was my new air fryer, which is so perfect for an RV. So it is so healthy, and it is such an amazing gadget. And if you do get an air fryer, and you can Google recipes for air fryers, and depending, if you're a vegetarian, the best way to cook vegetables, you can cook everything in there from a steak to chicken to fish to vegetables. It's amazing. So I always think of, when I'm thinking of cooking or what I'm going to cook for dinner, like if I am going to, look in a cookbook and get ideas, the first thing that you have to tell yourself is, how do you want to cook the food? And that's what would gear you to the right recipe.
Right.
Do you want to use your grill? Do you want to use a crock pot? Do you want to, and then look for the recipe, because you first need to figure out how you're going to cook it.
Yeah, that's it. Very good point. So there you go, Laura. And we sort of helped you on that one. I mean, it didn't specifically recommend a cookbook that you can get today, but we could tell you, just go online look for recipes for RVers. And believe me, there are plenty. And look for RV Mama's cookbook coming out a little bit later this year. I'm sure it'll be great, because her RV Mama book series is very popular. And we're looking forward to having her on again. So there you go. Mark and Laura with some good questions. If you want to ask Gigi a question, very simple. info@thervadvisor.com. info@thervadvisor.com. And just put in the subject line, JAG. That's it. Just ask Gigi. Very simple. A question for her. And we'll do our very, very best to get it answered for you. When we come back, we have one more thing to mention about the social site that's coming up, and maybe a little opportunity for you. So we'll do that right when we come back from this break. The RVACA is a charitable organization protecting the rights of RV owners. With your help, we'll work with dealers and manufacturers to ensure quality controls in place prior to delivery of an RV. Additionally, the RVACA provides assistance to disaster relief victims. Visit rvaca.org. Wrapping things up now on Just Ask Gigi, along with Gigi Steller. I'm Tom Alexander, and of course, Gigi, I know that we've got our social media site on tap. I mean, it's close, and we're getting there. Our goal was to get it up and running in the first quarter of 2021, and we're going to meet that goal. We're very excited and looking forward to the interactivity in the all the interaction in the RV community. And you and I were talking ahead of time, and you had mentioned about the opportunity for some of our very first 100. I guess you could call them part of the Founders Club or something like that.
Yeah, we do have a Founders Club, which is our original members, and I want to extend the branch to. I'd like to take the first 100. People that write in, and you're going to send it to info, and you're going to write Good Samaritan. I want to be a Good Samaritan in the message, and we're going to take the first 100 of those people and make them part of our founders. So you'll be you'll get a you'll be in the development site. You'll be able to go into the development site and play around with the site and, join, make friends, things like that, because we're still testing. But it's working. It's nearly finished. I'm so excited. It is going to be so much fun. And we're going to have, it's just going to be it's a whole new way of communicating. So many people are just tired of Facebook and tired of Instagram, tired of all that. And, we've been at this for a long time. We've built our own custom platform that we own. So we will not be controlled by anyone, nobody, not Facebook, not anybody to tell us what we can do, what we can't do. And anyway, and we'll be able to make changes if things need to be done, if you don't like something, things like that. So anyway, the 100 people and we're going to have, prizes and games, because we want to make a game out of it. Who's got the best ideas and who can create the best of this and that. And we'll have a bunch of low-lying fruit and rewards, gift cards and cash money. And we got all kind of prizes and stuff to help us make this site so perfect, because it is built by RVers for RVers. So let's all do this together.
Yeah. Terrific. That's it. It's the new social media site coming from the RVadvisor.com. And also want to remind you that the RVACA.org is always there for you. We are working hard to get a presence in Washington alongside the dealers and the manufacturers who already do have a seat at the table. And you, the consumer, certainly needs one and deserves one. And that's what we're building. And you can also register your vehicle there at rvaca.org. That's rvaca.org. Plus, there's a lot more you can do, including help donate to the frontline workers fighting COVID, or possibly even donate temporarily one of your RVs or campers or whatever you've got as a isolation unit for them, those folks working on the front line. So it's very important. But either way, whatever you do, the rvaca.org there for you. Well, that's it, Gigi. Another week wrapped up, and we'll be back again next week with a new edition of Just Ask Gigi. For Gigi Stetler, I'm Tom Alexander. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. So long, everybody.